Fox tonight, many Portland families, especially those with kids in local schools, are still feeling the impact of the recent winter storms.
The Portland Public School District announced some of its schools could be closed until next month while they await repairs from extensive damage. Fox 12 So Young Kim joins us live from Southwest Portland with the very latest. So Young?
Nora, Pete, we saw crews working on repairs here at Markham Elementary, which is closed until further notice. We spoke with parents who say they're trying to make the best of the situation.
Robert Gray had some water damage and things.
As the winter storm devastated properties and roads, another major impact local families are dealing with are extended school closures. Portland Public Schools sent a note to families at Robert Gray Middle School and Markham Elementary School saying those campuses are unlikely to reopen until the middle of February. The district points to extensive damage impacting multiple rooms and sections of the buildings, resulting from burst pipes and flooding, and says there's even potential of disrupted asbestos as a result of ceiling pipes bursting. People in the community tell us everyone's just trying their best to recover from the aftermath of the extreme weather.
I have some coworkers that are trying to deal with children and, attend meetings and things.
In its latest update to parents, PPS says Markham and Gray students will most likely relocate to other buildings within the district. It reads in part, quote, "As we explore options, we aim to keep your students as close to home as possible. This may require us to split the student body between buildings, transform non-classrooms into classrooms, and make other adjustments to our other buildings, all of which will take a little more time." A parent we spoke with who has 2 children in elementary school, not in PPS, but says he understands what those parents are going through after his children's school was also temporarily relocated during the storm.
Twins, both of them in 4th grade. The school itself is flooded. The school transferred its operations, so everybody is making adjustments and, making it work.
PPS says it hopes to share more concrete plans regarding these 2 schools tomorrow, and also says the updated estimate for Forest Park Elementary is February 5th. Live in Southwest Portland, So Young Kim, Fox 12 Oregon.